22 by 25 lug. All right, so we're here on Project Rocky. We're gonna work on the bottom of the cab, take this thing over to our buddy Shane. We got some parts from Auto Metal Direct. We have a new cab floor brace. That's this piece right here. So we're gonna replace that piece before we put it in primer. We also have a new cab floor mount over here, and this is also going to be where the body mount goes. So that's going to replace your body mounts if you have bad ones in your cab. And we have not only inners, but outer rockers. So we'll replace all that really good stuff that it got replaced up there now. Homemade body shop. And finally, we're doing cab corners. We're going to replace this missing piece here. So Shane's got his work cut out for him, but I think he'll take care of it. We'll get it all fixed up, put it in primer, and we'll be back. All right, got all the parts laid out. Truck's in primer, truck frame's in primer, so we're gonna go over what we're gonna do exactly to the front end. Upper control arms, lower control arms, spindle, all the tie rod ends, shocks, springs, and new brakes. Now it's kind of tricky, because they don't make a two-wheel drive lift spindle for a 73 to 87, so we went online, did some research, and found a cool little setup. So what we're doing, 73 to 87 upper control arm, but we're going to take out the ball joint. We're going to put in a new Moog ball joint for an 88 to 98. Attach it to an 88 to 98 rough country lift spindle. So this will be a lift spindle for a two-wheel drive from rough country. And that'll go to a lower control arm from a 73 to 87 C20, along with the spring from a 73 to 87 C20. And then we have all the ball joints, all the brakes, calipers, and rotors. These are also 92 to 98 or 88 to 98, depending on your application. Check out rockauto.com. That's where you got pretty much all this stuff. So that's the front end. We'll go ahead and bolt that on, and let's go over some of the parts for the rear. All right, here we are, rear. So the rear we're doing, for now, we're doing a lift with a leaf spring setup. But eventually we're going to knock this off, knock these brackets off. We're going to do a coilover back here. But for now, that's what we're going to paint the frame, because we're going to be working on it later. But for now, we're doing a lift kit from BDS. This is for a four-wheel drive 73 to 87. We found out that the distance between the front and rear leaves are the same between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. So we got a lift kit for four-wheel drive from BDS. And then we called our buddies at Performance Online. They have a disc brake rear conversion kit. For a 73 to 87, we're going to use a factory rear end. And then we'll have a bracket, so the bracket goes on there. You don't have to pull the axle out if you don't want to. We possibly are for ours either way, but you don't have to with their bracket. So we're going to have disc brakes in the rear, leaf springs with a 4-inch block. We might drop that down to a 2-inch if that's a little high. We have that ability to adjust that. And then once the truck's all running, dialed in and smooth, we'll start taking it back apart and doing a coilover in the back. But for now, this is going to be the setup. So here's the frame. You can go ahead. Here's the frame, all primered. Open up our KBS rust seal. This is designed to go right over rust, but we've already primered the frame, so the frame's pretty much ready to go. Alright, this is all coated. Looks good, looks smooth. I like this product from KBS. I'm impressed. Give it 2 coats. We're going to flip this thing, let this dry, and then flip it upside down and do the bottom side. But for now, I like it. Alright guys, we got the first coat on. Looks pretty good in some places. In some cases we have stuff down, do a second coat. So we're doing that. You see all those pieces over there, nice and stuffed up. Doesn't have to be too bad.
Blow it off with it first, or you want to wipe it?
I blew it.
You're looking at one individual thing. When you look at it as a whole,
Yeah, that's true.
you're not going to see much.
This is everything.
What do you think of KBS products? Alright, flipped it over, got the bottom coated. We're gonna go ahead and coat the top. Actually, yeah, top of the frame. You notice we flipped it over first, did the bottom first, now the top is up, so that way when it's done being coated, it's on the lift correctly. So we can start lifting it up and bolting it together. So I'll finish up with this KBS rust seal on the rest of this frame, and we'll start bolting some suspension. Now we're here coating the bottom side of Rocky, actually top side, we've already flipped it. Thought this is something you guys could know. Square body guys. You know your VIN number is stamped into the frame? Every frame, passenger side. Pretty cool. Alright, she's officially coated. Got the top coated, got the bottom coated, got it on the lift how we need it. So we could just start bolting stuff on. This KBS coating is pretty nice, I gotta admit. I'm happy with the results for a brush on finish. It's nice and thick. Alright. Alright, get this rear end taken apart. So we can get that over to the powder coater. Start bolting it up. Alright, we're going to figure out, you guys want to know how you figure out the factory gear ratio on a GM square body. Open up the rear end, you see these lines here, 1141. You break out your calculator, you do 41 divided by 11, and you know, 373 gears. Be able to reuse this.
Where do you want to put it? I can move the barrel out. Or you're gonna let you.
Okay. I've actually got oil on it. 5.3 liter. Alright. Get this thing off the crate. Put these bolts on so we can put it on a jack lift deal. These things are cool. So mounted on the engine stand, we bolt that to the block. And that tube goes in that hole. And then we mount it. We lift it up.
Slide in there. It's just that right angle. You might go up a little bit on the motor. Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. There you go. There you go. Right. Now go ahead and lower it down.
Engine plant, power plant for Project Rocky. This is a Summit Racing 5.3 liter LS long block. This engine has 450 horsepower, 420 pounds of torque. This is directly from Summit Racing as we get it, but we're going to install the low car intake setup, the fuel rail delete kind of deal. So the billet or the pulley system from low car, as well as the Holly intake. So it's going to be a really unique setup for Project Rocky. Alright, so this is for a 99 to 07 Chevy truck LM7. So this is what it comes out of, but we're going to put it in our 79 Chevy square body. We got of course 22 by 12, 5 lugs, 2-wheel drive.